Hey everyone, it's Linnea. Welcome back to another video. Today I am so excited to let everybody know that I have been asked to be a designer for the 'Tis the Season Challenge blog. And I am so excited. Christmas is my all-time favorite time of the year. I celebrate it all year round. My Christmas tree stays up until probably April, and I put it up again in October. I just love Christmas, so this challenge blog is right up my alley. And it's been a dream of mine to be on a design team. So this is just so fantastic for me, and I'm so happy that I can share all of that with you. So the 'Tis the Season Challenge blog is a blog all about Christmas cards. You go onto their blog, and they'll give you, every 2 weeks, they'll give you a challenge theme. It could be a photo inspiration, it could be a sketch, or like this week, it's a color challenge. The three colors for this week are sand, Concord, and navy. So I'm going to be trying this watercolor smushing technique that seems to be really popular. This is my first time trying it, so as you can see, I kind of struggle a little bit. I realize that I need to add a little bit more water. So I've started with my sand color, and I'm using antique linen, but I know that's really light, so I've applied most of the antique linen and just a little bit of a smush of brushed corduroy. And that really gave me the sand color that I was looking for. So I smushed that down on my work surface. I added a spritz of water, but as you can see, I realized that I needed a little bit more water. So I would suggest 2 to 3 sprays of water. And then I have a piece of acetate I've cut down to 6 by 6. I'm picking it up with that piece of acetate, and I'm smushing it down onto some watercolor cardstock. I'm using Tim Holtz brand, and it has a rough side and a smooth side. I'm using the smooth side. Okay, so now I've moved on to the Concord color, and this is Dusty Concord. It's another distressed ink color, and it's just a really gorgeous purple. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm picking up some of that ink. I'm kind of smushing it around. I'm moving it around on my acetate. Wherever you pick your acetate up, that's kind of where the color's going to puddle a little, so just keep that in mind. And every time I move on to a new color, I am drying it with my heat tool. I don't want the colors to blend too much. I don't want to get like that dark, mushy brown color. I want it to keep them their distinct colors. So I really recommend setting that with your heat tool in between colors. Okay, so this is my navy. This is chipped sapphire. And by this time, I've kind of gotten the hang of it, so I'm moving a little faster. I'm able to easily pick up that color and smush it down where I want it to go. So once I have that the way I want it, I'm just going to set it with my heat tool. And I'm going to make sure that it is completely dry because I'm going to be doing some stamping and embossing, and I don't want my embossing to mess up all that distress ink watercoloring that I've already done. So I'm using my EK6S powder tool, and as you can see, I am applying an excessive amount of powder to my paper. It's pretty hot and humid here. I don't want my powder to be sticking everywhere, so I'd rather sacrifice that little bit of powder from my tool to make sure that my embossing is perfect. I'm going to be using this big sentiment stamp from a Fiskars and Teresa Collins stamp set called 'Twas the Night. It's a pretty big sentiment stamp, and it's a bold piece. I really love it. So I've mounted that onto my Fiskars stamp press. I'm going to be inking it up really well with this VersaFine Onyx Black ink. It's the first time I've ever stamped this image, so I'm going to take a little bit of extra time and a little extra ink to make sure that that stamp is completely covered. I don't want to have to trash this whole watercolor piece because I didn't get my stamp just the way I want it. So I've inked it up really well, and I'm kind of looking at it, making sure that it's fully covered, and once I think that it is, I'm going to flip that over, and I will center that in the middle of my watercolor cardstock piece. And I'll push down, and I'm going to spend a lot of time just running my fingers over that sentiment to make sure all of those letters and all of those little swirlies completely transfer onto my paper. Once I have that done, I'm going to sprinkle on some Zing glitter embossing powder. I'm going to heat that up from the back so my glitter doesn't fly all over the place. And once I have that almost set, I'll flip that over and just finish embossing that from the front like you normally would. Once that's all set, I'm going to take some of my Heidi Swapp Color Shine spray ink, and I'm going to just splat some of that onto my paper here. And some of it, I feel like it's a little bit heavy in places, so I'm going to take a little piece of a paper towel and just kind of sop up some of that ink so that it dries a little faster and so that I cover up my sentiment. And then I'm going to take my heat tool to that and make sure that it's super dry before I move on to adhering my card together. Once it's dry, I have my Tombow Stamp Runner adhesive, and I'm going to apply my tape runner to the back of my watercolor piece. I find that it's a lot easier to apply the adhesive to paper rather than to the fun foam that I'm going to be adhering here for a little bit of dimension. And I'll do the same thing on my card front. I'll take the tape runner to the front of the card rather than to the fun foam. My watercolor piece is cut down so that it's just a teeny tiny little 1/8 of an inch border around my card, and that gives that fun foam a little bit of dimension. You can kind of see that border, and I just really like the look of that thin white border around your statement piece. And that's it for today's card. I'll hold this up to the light just a little bit, and hopefully you can see some of that shine from the Heidi Swap spray and from the sparkle embossing powder. I really encourage you guys to head over to the 'Tis the Season design blog and upload your card using this week's color challenge, Navy, Concord, and Sand. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.